Imagine a flame so powerful that it can illuminate the darkest corners of our world. Meet the keeper of the sacred flame and witness an adventure filled with danger, discovery, and destiny. This is not just a story that you can't afford to miss. Please show us some appreciation by subscribing to the channel and turn the notification bell on, so anytime we upload a video, you will be the first to watch. Thank you. Once upon a time, in a green valley surrounded by mountains, there lived a tribe known as the Zuri. The Zuri were known far and wide for their deep connection to the earth and the spirits roamed it. At the heart of their village stood a grand fire, the sacred flame, which burned brightly and was said to hold the wisdom of their ancestors. This flame had never gone out, not even once for generations. It was the heart of the village, representing their history, culture, and the strength of their ancestors. The flame was watched over by Elder James, an elderly man who had dedicated his entire life to protecting it. James was respected by all, known for his wisdom and kindness. But as the years passed, he grew old and knew it was time to find a successor. James gathered the villagers and announced that he would soon be passing on the responsibility of the sacred flame. The news spread quickly, and everyone wondered who would be chosen. The first person to express interest was Daniel, a strong and brave young man known for his skills in hunting. He believed that his strength made him the best choice to protect the flame. Next was Grace, a gentle and kind-hearted woman who was beloved by all. She had a deep love for the village and its traditions, and felt she could keep the flame alive with her nurturing spirit. Finally, there was Isaac, a quiet and thoughtful young man who spent most of his time studying the ancient stories of the village. He believed that understanding the past was the key to protecting the flame. James watched the three candidates closely. He knew that each of them had unique qualities, but he also knew that the task of keeping the flame was not just about strength, kindness, or knowledge. It was about something more. James decided to test the candidates. He asked Daniel to guard the flame for a day. Daniel stood by the flame with his spear, ensuring no harm came to it. When the wind blew, Daniel grew tired and fell asleep, leaving the flame unattended. Next, James asked Grace to watch the flame. Grace stayed close, tending to the flame with care. But when a traveler came by, asking for help, Grace left the flame to assist him, and the flame flickered dangerously. Finally, it was Isaac's turn. He sat by the flame and began to read the stories of old. He was so engrossed in the tales that he forgot to add wood to the fire, and the flame grew dim. James saw the challenges each candidate faced and realized that none of them fully understood the true nature of the responsibility. He knew he had to teach them the deeper meaning of the flame. James called the candidates together and told them the story of the flame's origin. He explained that the flame was not just fire, but a symbol of the village's unity, history, and future. It needed to be guarded with more than just physical strength or knowledge. He explained that the flame represented the spirit of the village, and to protect it, one must understand the value of the past, the importance of the present, and the hope for the future. The candidates listened carefully and began to see the flame in a new light. They realized that guarding the flame was about more than just keeping it burning. It was about protecting the village's soul. James then gave each candidate a final challenge: to spend a night alone with the flame, reflecting on what it truly meant to them and how they could protect it. Daniel spent the night by the flame, thinking about his strength and how it could protect the village. But as the night went on, he realized that brute force alone was not enough to keep the flame alive. Grace sat by the flame, thinking of the people she loved and how she wanted to keep them safe. She realized that the flame was a reminder that love and care must be balanced with duty and responsibility. Isaac read the ancient stories by the light of the flame and understood that knowledge of the past was vital, but it needed to be combined with action and wisdom to guide the future. When morning came, the three candidates returned to James. Each had gained a new understanding of what it meant to guard the flame. James saw the change in their eyes and knew they had learned an important lesson. James decided to choose the guardian not based on who was the strongest, kindest, or wisest, but on who understood the balance of these qualities. He knew the flame needed all these elements to stay alive. James chose Isaac as the new guardian. Isaac had shown that he understood the importance of the flame's past, present, and future. But James also asked Daniel and Grace to help him, knowing that together they could keep the flame alive. James began to teach Isaac everything he knew about the flame, sharing stories and lessons passed down through generations. Isaac listened and learned, ready to take on his new role. Soon after becoming the guardian, Isaac faced his first challenge. A storm threatened the village, and the winds grew strong. But Isaac, Daniel, and Grace worked together to protect the flame. Using their combined strengths, Isaac decided to create a new tradition in the village, where every year, the villagers would gather to hear the story of the flame and remember its importance. This brought the village closer together and kept the flame burning brightly. As the years passed, Isaac became a wise and respected guardian, just like James. The flame grew even stronger, a symbol of the village's unity and strength. When Isaac grew old, he knew it would soon be time to choose a new guardian. He began looking for someone who understood the flame as deeply as he did, remembering James's lessons. Isaac found a young boy named Samuel, who reminded him of himself. Samuel was curious, thoughtful, and loved hearing the stories of the village. Isaac began to teach him about the flame, preparing him for the future. Before Isaac passed on the responsibility, he gave Samuel the same challenge James had given him. Samuel spent a night with the flame, reflecting on its meaning and the importance of his new role. Samuel became the new guardian, and Isaac's heart was at peace. The flame was safe in the hands of the next generation, and the village's traditions would live on. The flame continued to burn brightly, like a symbol of the village's unbroken spirit and the wisdom passed down through generations. The villagers knew that as long as the flame was protected, their culture and values would never fade. The story of the sacred flame teaches us that preserving our cultural heritage is a shared responsibility. It's not just about strength or knowledge, but about understanding our roots and working together to pass down the wisdom and traditions that define us. As long as we guard these values, the flame of our culture will continue to burn brightly for future generations.